Hey, good morning. Back from a break. Rick and Bruce substituting for Brian this morning. We are here in the office. We were chatting about, before we took the break, well, let me go back to what Brian's doing. You know, Brian is traveling with Casey Cagle today. We're going to maybe hear from him in about 30 minutes. We've got a lot of politics going on in Fannin County and Gilmer County. The Fetcher News crew is going to be running the streets, covering all of the events.
North Georgia, America.
Yeah, North Georgia here. Right. Anyway, so, Amanda, you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us if they need to? We've got, you can call the show line at Great, thank you. Appreciate you covering that for me. You cover it every morning. I cover it once a month, so it's a big mouthful, right? Before the break, you know, we were on the other side of the pond talking about North Korea. We were talking about Iran. So
Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah, a little bit of Macron and Angela Merkel. Bruce gave us a pronunciation of all the different rhinestone and burlaps in every language that you can imagine, most of which I never understood, but I'm going to have to trust his judgment on these. Anyway, let's bring it back to this side of the pond. Where do you want to, what seems to be breaking in the news?
Well, in the famous words of Greg Gutfeld, it's a ball of collusion.
Wasn't there a song like that? The Ball of Confusion. That's right.
By the Temptations.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh, that is right. That's cool.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, everything that's going on with Comey and Clapper and Brennan and Mueller and the president and a few congressional people as well as senators, I mean, it really is confusing.
How'd you like that media circus the other night when they had that third-rate comedian up there trying to get people to laugh?
The White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Good night, was that a...
Yeah,
I think that could be
Wolf.
it for that event. I mean, the New York Times doesn't go to it already, and I heard one other group was pulling out as a result of it. I mean, it was just vulgar. It was just crass and vulgar, and I think people are just getting tired of that.
Yeah, it was almost uncomfortable to watch poor Sarah Huckabee Sanders sitting there and enduring that. I mean...
Michelle Wolf.
Yeah.
Comedian. She was just nasty. I mean, just very nasty and vile, and you know, of course, that's sort of like right out of the liberal playbook. They love that. I mean, a lot of people have been defending her this week and saying, oh, you know, it's a roast. What does she expect? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that happens to her, but it was just vile. So,
I didn't watch it. Did she get up and get a chance to defend herself, or did she just have to sit there and take it?
No,
No.
she actually just sat there and gracefully took it.
Yeah, she wasn't like Obama or Bush in the past where they stood up and
she sat there and like halfway smiled and just held her own.
Yeah, well, that's really unfortunate. It was, it just like I said, it was just uncomfortable to watch. I felt so bad for her. But
anyway. The gal, I mean, Michelle Wolf says, you know, I wouldn't change anything. I'd do it again. So
they hired me. You know, they should have done a better job of vetting my material.
Yeah.
No, they knew. They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were getting. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So I just don't know if that is going to happen again. I mean, you know, Trump already doesn't go because he knows, you know, the roasts after a while, I mean, get kind of long in the tooth, and you know, what do you need to yuck about that for? So, I don't think it's going to happen again. But
Gutfeld threw something out. Speaking of Gutfeld, he threw something out on the 5 yesterday when he said, "Why don't we do a competing event on the same night? I'll come and MC it.
Oh,
you know, we'll raise a lot more money for for different scholarships. We'll get Trump to come, and it'll be a great event. Wouldn't that be funny to watch?
That would be. Yeah.
I mean, he basically has done that the last 2 years, right? When he's gone out on a campaign trail.
Yeah, he did a campaign event.
He did that in Michigan, and he would. It was more fun to watch that event than the other, regardless of what side you were on.
Indeed.
He gets the most out of those campaign events.
But the things are going on with the investigation, and there's talk now that Mueller might subpoena Trump and this and that and the other thing. So, I mean, everyone is just getting very tired of this. I mean, because it seems to have like rambled way off center, and I think Mueller better bring this to a conclusion fairly quickly. The anti-Trumpers probably just love for it to go on all the way to the midterms, but I don't know if people can stomach a whole summer of this. It could blow back on the Democrats, I think, in a much worse way than they imagine. But just my opinion.
If he subpoenas Trump, then what's going to happen? That he's going to show up, or they're going to fight it, and it'll probably end up at the Supreme Court level to see if he has the authority to compromise, the workings of the president, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, the Supreme Court. I mean, they get all their decisions out usually by June, mid to late June, and then they're off for the summer.
And they take a pass.
Yeah. So this could go way past the midterms, and again, that's going to be a whole other dynamic. But there's just a lot of collusion going on in Washington and New York and California that has nothing to do with the Chinese or the elections.
All the collusion.
Yeah.
What say you about? I mean, there's a lot of flap about Clapper, about Brennan, about the leaking, the lying.
I think that's their MO. I mean, they leak when it's advantageous to them leaking, and Clapper and Brennan have had a history of playing fast and loose with the truth. So yeah, I mean, none of this stuff really surprises me. It maybe surprises some people, but doesn't surprise me. And you would like to see some of the people that do this, actually get punished for it, but. That doesn't seem to be the way Washington works, unfortunately.
A friend of ours sent us a clip, and I sent it over to Amanda, and I think she's got it probably teed up. And this was
set the stage.
Yeah, set the stage. This was shot in 1981. It was a clip from a sitcom, Barney Miller. I mean, it was basically kind of a comedy cop show. Mm-hmm. And it just shows how do you get people to believe in these lies that everybody's telling. And basically, after analysis, you malign the truth.
Yeah, you repeat a lie long enough, and people believe it's true. You malign the source, you malign the person, you call them crazy, put a tinfoil hat on them, do whatever you want. I mean, they did this with Archie Bunker all the time. Oh, yeah. Archie was a conservative, but, he was labeled a bigot by Meathead. Mm-hmm. And his son-in-law.
Meathead, the son-in-law.
Rob Reiner, by the way.
Who's still a meathead in this day. He and Sally Struthers were the tree huggers and the pacifists. Yeah. And, what's her name?
Jean Stapleton.
Jean Stapleton, Archie's wife. She was always the peacemaker, and Archie was the old curmudgeon, again, being maligned.
Yeah, saying politically incorrect things all the time.
Yeah. Now, this piece is about a 3-minute clip, but it'll show you about this guy that's coming in, that he's labeled a Looney Tune, but if you listen to what he's got to say, and he's describing the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission was started in 1973, something like that, by David Rockefeller.
Right.
It was three groups. It was Asia, it was Europe
and the Americas.
and there was a executive director for each one, and they would get together on an annual basis. They'd talk about, you know, more relaxed borders. They'd talk about
these were power brokers, very influential, wealthy people.
Right. A lot of them represented central banks.
Yeah.
And you know what they wanted to do is they wanted to put their people in place, basically.
Deep state?
Deep state, you think? Anyway, Amanda, do you have that clip skewed up that we could get a look at? It's only 3 minutes long, and then we can chat about it when you come back.
You want to know how you get away with a lie? Or a mountain of lies? Marginalize the truth. Create a scenario where the truth is told, but place it in a setting where it can be ridiculed and mocked as fanciful, crazy, or ridiculous. To intensify the deception, create a wild-eyed character, the messenger of this truth. And we're not talking about pseudo-truth. We're talking about actual truth. Imply that this messenger of truth is a conspiracy theorist. Now, slide that truth with its discredited messenger to the masses. From that point forward, whenever the mentally manipulated throng who witnessed that display of scorned truth encounters that truth again, they will, without question, denounce and discount it. And here is how you get away with a lie: by proclaiming the truth in broad daylight.
They're the ones you should be arresting, not me.
Why don't you say that before?
What do we got here?
Cam, this is William Klein. He was wrecking an office.
But I just wanted to meet them face to face. I wanted them to admit what they were doing. Who is they?
He was in the office of the Trilateral Commission.
Trilateral Commission?
Yeah, the Trilateral Commission.
All right, what is the Trilateral Commission?
It's an organization founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller to bring together business and political leaders from the United States, Europe, Japan, so they could work together for better economic and political cooperation between their nations.
Well, that's what they'd like us to believe. But you see, what they're really up to is a scheme to plant their own loyal members in positions of power in this country, to work to erase national boundaries and create an international community, and in time bring about a one world government with David Rockefeller calling the shots.
I take it they're pressing charges?
Yeah, well, he broke a globe and some UNICEF artwork.
Well, they're in on it too.
Okay, Mr. Klein, if you just...
I'm telling you, our whole way of life as we know it is in jeopardy.
I appreciate that information.
But I have the documented evidence. It's all in there. Show him.
Well, he's got these magazines here.
Conspiracy Review? Suppressed Truth Roundup?
The whole master plan is exposed.
Yeah, well,
You're still not convinced, huh? Would you like to hear the names of just a few of the people who have been on the Trilateral Commission?
not particularly.
James
no.
Earl Carter. Heard of him?
Look, Mr. Klein...
Henry Kissinger. You heard of him? Walter Mondale.
Who?
Mr. Klein, this is
John Anderson. George Bush. Now, you remember at the convention, everybody thought it was going to be Ford for Veep. You know what happened? David Rockefeller just picked up a phone, put in a call. Hey, Ronnie, forget Jerry, it's George. Bye. So, no matter who won in November, they had their man in the White House.
Are you through?
Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, give it a
That was great. I mean, to tell you, you watch how they marginalize this guy who's telling the truth. We're seeing the same stuff today, folks. You know, they
37 years later.
Yeah, they talk about Trump talking about fake news. He's crazy. Let's check his mental capacity, his mental stability.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fit to be president. He keeps saying that enough, and people start buying into it.
Yeah, repeat a lie enough, and people start to think it's the truth. So.
Yeah.
That clip, just a little background on Barney Miller, if I can digress.
Yeah.
The Barney Miller is played by Hal Lynn in that picture, and the two other guys that were there. Again, we don't know the name of the guy in the trench coat, but
he's a character actor, and he's been on a bunch of shows, and he's a funny guy.
Yeah. Well, the one detective was this Max Gale, who plays Stan Wojciechowski.
Yeah.
He's the one guy there was sort of the goofy look. Then Steve Landsberg plays
yeah. He got his start on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
He used to be on there all the time.
Another person who was in the cast that didn't show in that clip was Abe Vigoda, who played Phil Fish. Also had a little role in The Godfather.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, The Godfather. That's a movie from the '70s. We're going to talk about some movies from the '60s in the second hour after we get BKP on here, who's on the road with Casey Cagle. I think you'll be...
We're going to go further back in time than 81.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about the '60s when yours truly, RFG and BAC grew up together in the suburb of Chicago, and we're not going to tell all of our secrets. We're just going to brag on a few things anyway. So
yeah, interesting times.
Yeah. What else we got on the local front? DACA. We've got
storming the wall.
Yeah, we got 7 states out there that, including Texas, which just stepped up. Mm-hmm. They're going to sue to get DACA.
Yeah, to say Obama's original ruling was unconstitutional,
right,
and illegal.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the people that have come in under DACA or are here under DACA. This has everything to do with the constitutionality or lack thereof of a president being able to enact something like that, which coincidentally he said several times he couldn't do without Congress.
Without Congress's approval,
right,
and role.
You can't enact a law. There's and I can't remember all the minutia behind it, but.
Well, you see, I mean, DACA and the kids that are born here to parents that are illegal, I mean, you see some of the same issues that is going on with this caravan at the border now. I mean, you have people there that are just deliberately thumbing their nose at the U.S. because immigration lawyers in the U.S. have, figured out in the laws, which are
they're so poorly written. There's so many holes in them.
Exactly. That, people can come in and instead of like getting in line and doing it the way hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people do, they can claim asylum. And, I don't know what these people are running from in Guatemala or Honduras. I mean, those are countries that have oppressive regimes. Are they Jewish in a predominantly Catholic country and they feel discriminated against? I mean, so what? I mean, there's minority religious groups in every country, and I don't think they get persecuted for it. But
by the way, they got to march through Mexico. It's got some of the toughest laws on the books.
And by the way, offered them asylum.
Why didn't they
just take a right turn and set up camp?
Set up camp there.
Yeah. No, Mexico's not good enough. They want to get to the promised land.
Bruce, what is in your thought, what is the motivation behind these, and I don't know if they're ACLU lawyers or that are set up, U.S. lawyers that are set up to coach these people?
Well, and oftentimes funded by, groups that have a very liberal bias. And again, I think they're
So is their whole charge just at whatever cost to keep building that voting base?
I think that's in the back of their mind. I think honestly, some of them are very compassionate people and think people that want to come to this country should be given every means to do so they can make a better life for them and their children. And, that only goes so far. I mean, as everyone has been saying in the last few weeks, if we don't have laws, for border control, if we don't have laws for people coming in and going out of this country, you don't really have a country.
We don't have a country.
Yeah, people really have to get, sensible about this and a little pragmatic. And that isn't something that some of the groups that want to, encourage these people to come here, they don't want to be pragmatic. They want to be dogmatic, and it's their dogma. So.
Yeah, You know, the Democrats have always been crying for, you know, immigration reform. Well, to Bruce's point, the only way you can have immigration reform is to make sure that you do have a country, you abide by the rule of law. Let's just enforce the laws that are in place.
Exactly. We have immigration laws.
Yeah.
You know, they've been around for, you know, a long time, and they've been improved and upgraded and changed and altered and amended, and we just haven't enforced them. So, again, can we get pragmatic about this? I mean, a little, you know, Yankee sensibility.
If you don't like the law, change the law. But don't just continually break the law that's on the books.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and enforce the law. I mean, you know, I think the poor Border Patrol and ICE officers had their hands tied for decades now. And this isn't just Obama. It goes back, you know, to the Bushes.
It goes back to Reagan.
Yeah.
Almost, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Reagan cut an amnesty. I mean, and okay, that's fine, but you know, it's worsened so much since that amnesty offer.
In a nutshell, with Reagan, correct me if I'm wrong, he put out a plan, implemented the plan, but he didn't enforce the borders.
Yeah, exactly.
So the plan failed. He let all these people in, gave them amnesty. You know, they were supposed to report and all, and, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know.
Well, this reporting thing, I mean, it's kind of a joke. You know, that they come in, even these new people seeking asylum, they'll come in, they'll get approved, and then they'll get a court date. And the court date could be a year and a half, 2 years from now. And they're not
if they show up.
If they show up. And a high percentage, majority, do not show up.
Yeah.
So they're out there. You know, they're in Albuquerque, they're in Abilene, they're in Arlington Heights.
Yeah. So anyway, so these people, they had these Hondurans march through Mexico, chose not to take the amnesty offer that Mexico came out.
They'll give you asylum. You can become Mexican.
They got to our borders. They all perched on the walls, and all of a sudden they said, the ICE and the immigration, excuse me, we're only processing a few people a day because we're full.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there they sit.
And 11, I think, or 14 tried to get in illegally. They have been caught and will be sent back. And they have offered asylum to a handful of the ones they've interviewed and approved. You know, and again, I mean, asylum for, you know, whatever kind of religious, racial discrimination they are going through in Honduras or Guatemala or wherever. Very hard to prove. And again, you get no biometrics on these people. It's the same with the refugees from the Middle East. It's very hard for someone sitting on the border, you know, in Tijuana, to, you know, be able to vet some Spanish-speaking person, or, you know, from Honduras, or some Arabic-speaking person from Syria. I mean, how do you do that?
And what Bruce is trying to say, I think, is there's a lot of good people that are trying to get into this country and make a better life, but you know, filtered in with all those good people, you've got you know, members of the cartel. Mm-hmm. You've got gangs that are coming in. You know, MS-13 spreading like wildfire.
And then the bad side of it going forward, once they get in there, if they get into a sanctuary city, state, county, whatever it is, then they become protected. And, you know, the MS-13 people, the gang members, the cartel members, they're in there preying on the immigrant community.
Right.
Now, okay, politicians, does this make sense? I mean, the people you want to help the most are getting endangered the most by your policies.
What a sad state of affairs San Francisco's come into.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, I mean, they talked about the money that it just takes to clean the mess up. And, you know, there was that expose about people openly in the BART station, you know, shooting up, human waste all over the place.
Yeah,
that's just got to be absolutely awful.
And the sanitation workers and other workers for these city governments have to go in and clean it up.
Police force.
They're complaining now about, like, exposure to, you know,
to disease.
Needles, disease, this, that, and the other thing.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't know. It's sad state of affairs, and it's all this. It's all, again, and we're supporting these people. I mean, that's why the social programs, that's why California now has the highest poverty rate in the country.
You know, it's ridiculous.
It used to be, land of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going out there in a couple of weeks.
Oh boy, yeah, you're going on a road trip, aren't you?
Road trip.
Anyway, we are here in Brian's place in the office, having a good time talking about local stuff. We're going to lighten it up a little bit in the next hour. Hopefully, we're going to hear Brian here after the break. We're going to take a break here in a few minutes, but we wanted to kind of go back in time a little bit. Bruce and I have been together a long time, separated only by jobs here and there, but we happily ended up in the same community up in Blue Ridge, and I'm so delighted that my friend has joined my wife and with his wife and their extended family,
kids and grandkids.
Yeah, so we're having a good time. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hopefully, it won't bore you because it brings joy to us. So, Amanda, why don't we take a pause for the cause here? Let's make some money and tell our sponsors how much we appreciate them. So, Amanda, take us to break, please.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's T-E-A-S. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Could be love because I First Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.